The movie begins with an object shaped like a crater falling towards the earth. The object crashes down in the desert. There is a hunter there with his dog. His dog quickly runs over to the spot, but gets scared when he sees it and runs away. The hunter hears a strange roaring noise, so he picks up his gun and prepares to shoot. Next, the scene changes and we're introduced to Renee, the main character, who loves keeping unusual pets. Renee is shown burning her pet lizard because it passed away. She asks her mother to take her to the store so she can buy food for her pets. Renee's mother's boyfriend appears, but Renee totally ignores him. When her mother's boyfriend scolds her, Renee gets upset and scratches his car in anger. In the following scene, Renee gets ready and heads to school. At school, we see Renee doesn't have any friends and the other students pick on her. Because of this, Renee thinks of animals as her best friends. After school, her mother arrives to pick her up. Renee notices her mother is acting differently and understands there's been an argument with her boyfriend. She tells her mother to leave him. But her mother says she loves him and feels happy with him. Renee returns home, feeds her odd animals and sings songs with them. That night at dinner, her mother's boyfriend complains about scratches on his car and a terrible smell coming from the microwave. Linda explains that she warmed up a dead rat in the oven for her snake. Seeing this, her mother's boyfriend gets really angry and throws a chip at her. Feeling upset by his rude behavior, Renee grabs her ATV and leaves the house. She takes her ATV bike out to a spot in the desert and begins to cry. There she notices the same crater as before. Renee walks up to the crater and a strange-looking monster emerges from it, chained to a truck. Renee is scared at first, but then she decides to help the creature and afterwards runs home. When Renee gets home, she sees that her mother and her mother's boyfriend have stopped arguing. The next morning, Renee sees lots of helicopters flying overhead, which makes her worry about the monster. Renee decides to help the monster and starts making a list at school. She asks her classmates for various kinds of tools. When Renee gets home, her parents call her over and give her a sober coin for 24 hours, but Renee refuses it and goes to her room. Later, Renee secretly takes the keys to her mother's friend's car and grabs a bottle of vodka from inside. She also finds a gun in the car along with the vodka. Renee collects all these things and heads out to the desert to look for the monster. Renee drives back to the same spot in the desert. At first, she can't find the creature, but when she uses binoculars, she spots it inside the crater. She tries firing a test shot into the air, but the creature doesn't react. Then Renee goes over to the creature and sets up her camera, but the creature stays completely still. Renee thinks it might be dead and starts to leave. Suddenly, the creature jumps at Renee and knocks her to the ground. Then it begins sniffing her. Then it steps back a little and keeps its distance. Now, Renee gets a clear look at it for the first time and realizes it's an alien. She tries to communicate with the alien and offers it an apple, but it doesn't eat it. At that moment, helicopters fly overhead again, and Renee tries to tell the alien that it's in danger. In the evening, Renee gets home and realizes she lost the gun she took from her mother's friend's car, or maybe left it in the desert. When she comes out of her room, her mother's friend is sitting right there on the couch. He's been drinking. He tells Renee not to tell her mom anything about him. He also asks Renee about his keys, but she pretends not to know anything. When Renee steps outside, she's startled to find that same alien monster in the bushes. She tells it to leave, but it doesn't listen. So Renee gets on her ATV and heads to the desert, hoping the alien will follow her. Once they're in the desert, Renee finally leaves the alien behind. Suddenly, the creature comes in front of her, opens its mouth, and golden tentacles spread out, covering Renee's face. Renee's body lifts off the ground and floats in the air for a few seconds. When Renee regains consciousness, it's already morning and the alien is asleep. Renee hugs the alien and decides she can't leave it alone. So she takes the alien home and hides it in the cellar. Out in the desert, helicopters and an investigation team are still searching for the mysterious object that fell from the sky. Then the scene changes again. At home, Renee pretends to be leaving for school and calls her mother to make sure she's at work so she can safely bring the alien inside. Now Renee brings it to her home and tries to feed it, but it doesn't eat anything. Renee names it Croc. When Renee sings, Croc's scales start to move as if it is enjoying. Now Renee thinks it's either enjoying or very scared, so she hugs it to make it feel secure. They both start watching TV together, but as soon as she finds out her mom has come home, she panics. She sneaks out with her new friend. Renee's mother comes in and gets tense seeing the mess in the house, so she takes her medicine to cope. Then Renee and Croc quickly head to the cellar, and meanwhile, Renee's friend comes home to get his camera. Her mom lets him in and tells him to go to Renee's bedroom to get it. Her friend goes there and sees a picture of Renee's deceased father. On the other hand, we see Renee leaving Croc and going back home, telling her mom she didn't go to school because she wasn't feeling well. When Renee goes to her room, she realizes her friend has seen Croc's video. Renee says it was just an animal she saw in the desert. He takes the camera from him and then realizes her friend has stolen the tape. Both of them start arguing and fighting over the tape. Her friend tells her, "Look, Renee, I know you're not telling the truth. Tell me the truth, otherwise, I'll give the tape to the police." Then Renee takes her friend to the cellar. Croc tries to attack the boy, but Renee teaches it to calm down, saying he's just her friend. When Croc smells her friend, he faints and his pants get wet. Now after a while, her friend regains consciousness. Renee pets Croc and sings a song, making its scales move. Seeing this, her friend becomes convinced that the alien is friendly. After that, her friend returns the tape to Renee and promises not to tell anyone about this secret. But neither of them realizes that an agent is hiding nearby, listening to their conversation and taking their photos. Evening time is shown. Renee hears some unusual sounds coming from the cellar. She goes down and sings a song for her alien friend. She tries to feed the alien friend, but it doesn't like any food. The next day at lunch, Renee's friend says that this monster is like a dinosaur and must enjoy hunting. In the evening, both Renee and her friend take the alien friend somewhere so it can hunt. There were some pigs there. The monster hunted them and finally ate them. Renee happily hugs her friend, but the alien friend turns around and roars loudly, not allowing them to touch it. It's night when Renee is leaving the alien friend back in the cellar and heading to her room. Then Renee's mother's boyfriend comes in drunk. He grabs her by the hair, throws her onto the sofa and asks about his gun. Renee tries to lie, but he understands. Now Renee is forced to admit that the gun is lost. Mother's boyfriend gets angry and says Renee doesn't respect him because she's not afraid of him. Frightened, Renee tries to run away, but he catches her. Renee bites his hand to protect herself, but she's still very frightened. Now he angrily throws her against the wall and tries to strangle her. Hearing Renee scream, her mother immediately comes and pushes her friend away. Meanwhile, the alien friend locked in the cellar hears everything, gets angry, and starts banging on the wall. The whole house starts shaking as if there's an earthquake. After a few minutes, it stops. After this scene, Renee's mother finally breaks up with her boyfriend. When he hesitates to leave, Renee's mother smashes a beer bottle against the wall, making him leave. The scene shifts. The mother goes to check on Renee, but Renee is very angry that her mother let the situation escalate so much. She goes to the cellar and reminds her alien friend to stay calm, not to show anyone that it lives here. Renee falls asleep there shortly after. The next morning arrives. An agent comes to Renee. He tells her that he found the gun that was registered in her mother's boyfriend's name, but the fingerprints on it are Renee's. Renee makes an excuse, saying she was just shooting cans in the desert. The agent says he'll go easy for now and gives her his business card, but warns her that if she doesn't call and provide information, he'll return with a warrant and handcuffs. The scene shifts. Renee's mother notices there's no water coming in the house, so she calls a plumber. When the plumber goes to the cellar to check the problem, he sees the alien. He's shocked and in fear attacks it with his tool, causing the alien to bite him. Now the frightened plumber gets in his van and drives away. Due to pain and panic, his van crashes. On the other hand, we see Renee coming home from school, and her mother tries to talk to her, but Rennie gets upset and blames her mom for everything that goes wrong. Rennie goes down to the cellar and sees human blood on the floor. The alien is hurt too and it's bleeding. So Rennie decides she can't let her alien friend stay in the house any longer. The scene changes. Now Rennie's friend is approached by an agent who tries to get information from him. Later that evening, Rennie rides her ATV out to the desert and asks her alien friend to follow her. The alien runs so fast, it's even quicker than the ATV. मिल जाता है। थोड़ी देर के बाद दोनों एक जगह रुकते हैं जहाँ रेनी का दोस्त मिलता है। Rennie tells him that she's thinking of locking the alien in her mom's boyfriend's van and driving him to a remote place where nobody will be able to find him. Rennie's friend shares that the agent threatened to deport his immigrant relatives if he didn't give up any information. But he says he didn't say anything. He kept everything secret. Rennie hides Croc in a big box in the middle of the desert and goes back home. Just as she's about to get in the van, her mom's drunk boyfriend shows up with a gun. He drags her out of the van. Then he makes Rennie and her mom sit in front of the camera and starts crying and complaining. He says things like nobody loves him. He's so angry he smashes and throws the table. The scene shifts to the desert where a group of agents arrives at the box. But when they open it, the box is empty. Croc had already broken out and was on his way back home. At home, Rennie's mom's boyfriend is attacking her mom, and her mom screams at Rennie to run away. Rennie tries to escape, but her mom's boyfriend catches her and slams her face against the van. Then he points the gun at her and says her mom doesn't love him because of Rennie. Suddenly, Croc shows up, attacks him, and kills him. Rennie tries to stop Croc, but he cries out and runs off into the forest. A little while later, Rennie's friend arrives at the house and is so shocked to see her mom's boyfriend's dead body that he throws up. He says that he spoke to the agent. Suddenly, the agent comes out of the house and shoots the tires of Rennie's ATV. The agent ties Rennie to a chair, and his team connects equipment to her hair to hook her up to a computer. The computer confirms that Rennie and the alien share the strongest bond. The agent breaks Rennie's finger, making her scream, so Croc will come running to her. And that's exactly what happens. Croc hears her scream and races back home. He walks right into the trap and is tortured non-stop until he passes out. Rennie tries to help, but the agent puts a mask over her face and makes her lose consciousness. Croc is moved to a government facility. Rennie wakes up tied to a chair in an empty room. The agent wakes her and she spits in his face. She insists Croc is her friend, but the agent says he's dangerous. He tells her she's the first person to survive an encounter. He explains that these aliens attack humans and could do it again in the future, so they can't ever be our friends. He thinks he can study the alien by examining its lower body. The agent threatens her, saying he'll hurt her if she doesn't cooperate. Now the scene changes and Rennie's mom comes to see her. She says she read the letter Rennie wrote earlier and apologizes to her for everything. Rennie comes up with a plan to break her own finger. She breaks her finger. As soon as she screams, the agent runs in and tries to cover her mouth. That's when Rennie bites him. Croc, furious, breaks out of his restraints, frees himself, and takes out the guards trying to stop him. Alarms go off, and the lights start flashing. Croc escapes the lab, runs down the corridors, and takes down anyone who gets in his way. Rennie's mom is worried and tries to reach her, but the doors are locked, so she crawls through the air vents. They see dead bodies lying in the corridor and are shocked. The agent and his partner get their weapons ready and aim at the door. But Croc attacks them both, knocking them unconscious. Croc is about to finish them, but Rennie stops him and helps him calm down. She grabs the agent's keys and unlocks her hands. Together, Rennie and Croc escape from the facility. Outside, as Rennie and her alien friend try to get in a car, the agent returns and starts shooting at them. Rennie and the alien hide behind the car, but the agent keeps firing. Croc steps out to protect Rennie, and the agent shoots at him again and again. Still, Croc manages to reach the agent and kills him. Rennie runs to Croc and sees that he's dead. A few days later, the scene shifts to Renee, her mother, and her friend enjoying a picnic together. Next, we see a government lab where scientists are examining Croc's body. Suddenly, there's some movement in his body, showing us that Croc is still alive. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Thank you for watching.